What's up, guys? So today we're going to talk a little bit about intention. This topic came up because I was talking with my husband yesterday. I told him how I feel like most of the time when I want something, like something small, like a parking spot or a coffee, or if I'm looking for something, like I had my eye on something and I needed to go on sale, and then I stopped stressing out about it. I stopped worrying about it. I just think, oh, I want this. 9 times out of 10, I end up getting whatever it is that I want. And he just started laughing, and I was like, why is that so funny? And he's like, well, you should talk about that in your next video, that I should talk about, something along the lines of intention in relationship to manifestation, even as it relates to small things. So that brought to mind the scripture that says, ask and it will be given unto you, and then that God will give you the desires of your heart. And I'll make sure to put the verses for these below. But yeah, whatever it is that you want in your life, to make sure that your intentions are in alignment to receive the thing. So if we're looking at our self-talk, if we're looking at the people that we have around us, to make sure, and I think that's like one of the most powerful things about manifestation, especially if you're thinking about something small. So often a lot of us are able to manifest small wins in life for ourselves, but we find it more challenging to manifest the larger things. And I think a lot of that has to do with intention and belief, whether you think, oh, this is possible because it's small, or this is not possible because it's so large, to change your perspective around your intention. So instead of thinking, oh, it would be nice if I got a bonus this year, but that's probably not likely, it's just too lofty of dream to say, no, this is realistic, this is happening, I have this already. And then at the same time, when you think about intention in relationship to other people, if we are viewing ourselves as creators, right? Like if we're to remember that we're sons and daughters of the creator of the universe, and we ourselves can also be creators. Like God has given us authority to receive the desires of our heart, that God will give us those things if we ask and believe, knowing that if it's out of alignment with God's will, He's not going to bless us with something that would be a curse. So when we're walking with Him, if you want something, to not be afraid to ask for it, and then at the same time understanding that there are other people in the world who also have energy and intent attached to the things that they want themselves. There are other people in the world who are also creators, right? There are other people whose magnetic energy can influence your own. So when we're thinking about the small things that we manifest throughout our life, throughout your day-to-day, you're probably not going to tell someone, oh, I manifested a free coffee this morning, or, oh, I manifested a parking spot. No, you're just thinking, man, I always have a parking spot, or yeah, I always have enough money in my pocket. Or, oh, I always pay my bills on time. And it's not something you feel the need to go around telling other people. And so you have two things that come into play when you think about your intention and when you decide to share it with other people. To recognize that now, not only is your energy influencing your ability to attract that thing, right? Because you've said, okay, God, this is what I want. And God says, okay, yes, you can. This is something that I'll allow you to have. And you have faith to receive. So that's you in alignment with God's plan for your life to receive the thing, and then having someone else. So now you've invited their energy to influence the law of attraction into whether or not you're going to receive the thing that you desire. And the unfortunate thing about this is it doesn't even have, the person that you're sharing that with might love you and might want great things for you, but they don't share your faith. They have doubts, right? Maybe they think, oh man, I really want Veronica, or I really want Amanda or Jason to be blessed with this thing, but I just don't see it happening. So that doubt is influencing your ability to receive. So if you guys think about different stories in the Bible, I can't remember which story it is. I think it's the one where in the Bible there's a man who had a child who was sick, and then the child ends up passing away, and there are people in the home mourning, and Jesus has everyone get out of the room. This is the Son of God, right? This is God having everyone who didn't believe get out of the room in preparation to perform a miracle. And I think this really is a powerful illustration of how much your faith can be influenced, how much manifestation, how much creation, how much the supernatural can be influenced by faith. If you have someone whose faith is strong and they believe, you can use faith to move mountains. Faith can be something that can move mountains, and a lack of faith can become a stumbling block and keep you from getting to that next level. It can keep us from getting things done. So just to pay attention to who you have in your inner circle when you're trying to get to that next level, when you're trying to accomplish that goal, because it's going to have an impact. Whether you can, see it quickly or not, it might take a longer time for you to see, but underneath the surface, things are happening, and you want to make sure that you have very little resistance when it comes to your intentions manifesting into reality, or your desires becoming a reality. Or there's that example in the Bible where one of the disciples was wanting to walk on water, right? So he's basically saying, he's testing God. He's saying, if it's you, let me walk on this water. And then God tests his faith. Jesus is like, well, if you have enough faith, you come out and step onto the water and you can walk on water, because Jesus was already walking on the water. He had faith. The disciple did not have faith. And I think it was Simon, I'll put the information below, but he starts to walk on the water, and then he begins to look around him and starts to lose his faith, and then begins to sink. It's like, whenever you have intention, right, or faith that you can receive something from God, to make sure you don't have any interference, right? We want to remove all interference and distraction. So like for the disciple, it was looking around and seeing the storm, that he was in the middle of the storm instead of keeping his eyes on Jesus. And sometimes what happens when we decide to share what we're getting ready to do with other people is that we create interference that keeps us from receiving the thing, because now you have other people's energy involved in what you're trying to receive. And sometimes that energy might draw you closer to what you're trying to achieve, depending on who you have working with you. And then it might also be something that's standing in the way between you and reaching your goal. So just to be really cautious about that, and to ask yourself, do I need to share what I'm trying to do, or is it better for me to keep quiet, to keep this between me and God, and then ask God to reveal to you when it's time to share? I love you guys. I hope that this was a blessing to someone. I hope this is what my husband intended when he said that I should share a little piece of information on manifestation and on intention and manifestation. But yes, yeah. So if you guys have any questions or comments, I always love to hear from you. And thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next episode. Bye, guys.